You're listening to Systemic Era Podcast. The failure was designed.
Someone above Blanche's pay grade is blocking deal with Senate Republican, based on an article by Sarah K. Harris. Power wants a receipt for loyalty. The source story is simple enough. Republican senators are trying to block Todd Blanche's confirmation unless he puts in writing that an anti-weaponization fund for MAGA allies will never be created, while the White House appears to be the real choke point. Blanche says he is negotiating. Trump says he is the one deciding who gets endorsed, who gets punished, and when the nomination gets withdrawn. The decision maker is not hidden. The attempt to make this sound like a mystery inside the White House is already political dodge. If a nomination is being held up over a fund meant to soothe grievance among Trump's allies, then the relevant power is not some anonymous staffer in the background. It is the president's circle, and Trump himself makes that plain the moment he goes public and starts threatening Cornyn and Tillis for disobedience. Tillis says Blanche is operating in good faith and that the person blocking the deal is above his pay grade. That is exactly the point. The pay grade that matters is the one at the top of the authoritarian chain. Everyone below it is performing deniability. A fund reveals the operative logic. This is not about neutral governance. It is about converting political grievance into institutional obligation. A so-called anti-weaponization fund for MAGA allies is a demand that the state reimburse loyalty and codify resentment. The idea that federal power was unfairly used against Trump world is being turned into a protection racket with legal paperwork. That is the real story the reporting exposes. The administration is not merely naming enemies. It is trying to build a machinery for rewarding its own faction's sense of victimhood. That is how authoritarian politics launders itself. Harm becomes persecution. Accountability becomes weaponization. Public office becomes a reimbursement desk for the insulated and aggrieved. Blanche is not the center of gravity. Blanche is being described as the negotiator. But he is not the sovereign actor here. His job is to absorb the procedural heat while the president keeps the real leverage. Trump's Truth Social post makes that unmistakable. He praises Blanche, attacks Cornyn and Tillis, and openly frames the nomination as something he can withdraw and replay after the senators are out of office. That is not ordinary hardball. It is a demonstration of domination. The message is that even a cabinet nomination is not a separate institutional act. It is a tool for punishing the wrong Republicans and rewarding the right obedience. The Senate is not being consulted as a co-equal branch. It is being reminded who is allowed to matter. Republican resistance is late and narrow. Cornyn and Tillis are not resisting the underlying politics of the Trump project. They are objecting to one specific demand, the written guarantee that the fund will not exist. That distinction matters. It shows where the line is for these senators. They are not confronting the authoritarian impulse itself. They are trying to prevent one especially crude expression of it from becoming formally attached to the Justice Department. Even there, the resistance is fragile. Trump publicly humiliates them, notes that he refused to endorse them, and implies that their careers are already finished. The entire exchange is a reminder that the GOP's internal discipline is not built on principle. It is built on fear, tenure, and access. The Senate check is electoral, not moral. The article notes that Democrats would need to flip 4 seats to take the Senate and start this kind of maneuvering. That is the only institutional fact in the piece that points outward instead of inward. If Republicans are willing to use nominations as leverage for factional protection, then the counterweight is not hoping for better manners from the same coalition. It is controlling the chamber that can block appointments and force consequences. That is why this story matters beyond Blanche. It shows a governing movement that treats federal power as a private inheritance and treats legal accountability as an offense that deserves compensation. The misdirection is deliberate, the responsibility is top-down, and the pattern is familiar. When authoritarian politics gets pushback, it does not retreat. It asks for paperwork. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to AlterNet for today's article. With the automated voice of Riza, thanks for listening.